I am back this time with a green tea in hand. So apologies for cutting the last live broadcast a little bit short, but I had to just pick up something to drink so that I could continue talking a bit longer. That's one of the issues I found with doing so many more live broadcasts over on the GeekVloggz channel, is that talking for such a prolonged period of time certainly does take its toll on one's voice. Now this time around I haven't got a notification that I'm broadcasting, so that is very strange, but I can see that everything is working fine. So thank you again to everyone who's tuned in for this second time. I really do appreciate it. Oh, I just got a really good notification on my phone. That has made me smile a great deal. Really very, very pleased with that. So anyway, thank you again for tuning in. And we're working towards 7 PM on a Monday evening, 7 PM UK time. I don't normally broadcast on the GeekVloggz channel, but I wanted to sort of just chat with you this evening without putting, this isn't appropriate to put on the GeekVloggz channel, so it really lives here on my sort of vlogging channel. And I just thought it was a nice opportunity to catch up with you all and let you know what I've been doing over the past week. And a very big announcement concerning the GeekVloggz channel, because I know those of you who tune in over here are really loyal viewers and subscribers. So I appreciate you sort of coming across to this channel just to sit back and have a chat with me this evening. So let me just tweet out this live broadcast. Autocorrect on the on the tweet looked quite funny. I hate autocorrect sometimes. It really does my noggin in. It really does. So thanks again anyway to everyone who's tuned in. Hello to Yui. Thank you very much for tuning into the live broadcast here. I will reserve talking to you about the sort of exciting announcement about the GeekVloggz channel. I'm going to reserve sort of telling you about that just for 5 or 10 minutes to give other people a chance to tune into the broadcast. Before I went offline and grabbed my cup of green tea, I'm not going to be able to show you it because it will spill everywhere. But before I paused the previous live broadcast just to pick up a drink, we were talking about the Note 8, how I was finding it in comparison to my iPhone 7 Plus. It's been a really nice software experience so far. So I'm really enjoying Google Android, and that potential switch is still there because I'm yet to be convinced by the iPhone 10 and iOS 11, which really needs a lot of work. But I've been using it quite a lot. I've been using it for the camera, for the experience of Google Android, for messaging. I've been using it for mail, for my email, which hasn't been ideal. Don't like the Gmail app. But the only thing I found is it's a little bit cumbersome. Sort of holding it. It's a lot taller than the iPhone 7 Plus. So I'm looking forward to covering the iPhone 10, obviously, over on the GeekVloggz channel in a few days or at the end of this week. And I'm also looking forward to still potentially getting the LG V30 in, which could possibly be the better option instead of the Pixel 2 XL, because they seem to have done something different with the screen on the LG V30. Also in the last broadcast, somebody asked me about my latest watch acquisition. For those of you tuning in just to this broadcast, we've got a new Squale in, which is one of their Atmos range of watches. And this is like a vintage looking watch. I really like it. It's fantastic. Absolutely love it. Hello to Darren. Thank you for tuning in. So this is not mine yet. This is to do a video about on the Watch Lifestyle channel, which is one of my other channels. This is from Gnome on Watches. Really liking it though. I don't think I'll be able to afford to keep it. It's not mega bucks, but I just don't think that it will be something I can afford to actually keep. You know, funds aren't, believe it or not, unlimited. It's funny actually. I don't mind talking to you about this purely because this is over on the other channel, but people get the impression because of what I do on the GeekVloggz channel, and they see all of this technology that I cover, that I'm absolutely rolling in it, that I must be very well off. And all I would say is I make a comfortable living in what I do. I don't just make money off of YouTube, I do commercial videos as well. But people get the impression because they see all of these cameras, smartphones, watches that I cover over on the other channel, and they think I'm absolutely loaded, but it couldn't be further from the truth. You know, I would say probably about 80 to 90% of the devices that I have come into GeekVloggz either on loan or they get recycled. Not literally recycled, they sort of go on this sort of rotational basis. And whenever I upgrade one of the cameras, another camera goes out. Whenever I get a new smartphone in that's not on loan, that I have to purchase in, another smartphone goes out. So, I mean, at the moment, in the studio, I've literally only got the Note 8 and the iPhone 7 Plus. That is it at the moment. There are no other smartphones available for comparison. So, and then one of the changes I made just recently for doing the live broadcasting was I got rid of one of my older cameras and put those funds towards the Sony AX53. And I just went and got this from the editing room in that short break because I got asked about this in one of the broadcasts, and of course I was using it to broadcast. And it's a really great little video camera, 4K resolution. I only broadcast in 1080p due to the bandwidth. It's got this Boss system in it as well. If I turn it on, you can see the lens. There you go, it just flicks round to the front. I've got the optical stabilization turned off at the moment, but this lens moves around. So if you're doing a walk around video, then you know it stabilizes it all. And it's got a really nice screen. So if I turn this round, you can see what I can see at the moment. The screen's not going to show up very well, maybe if I do it at that angle, but it's got a really nice sort of flip round screen, which is touch sensitive as well. SD card slot, mini or no micro HDMI output just under this flap here, runs off battery, or indeed the little flap on the back there means I can run it off of mains power, which was one of the main reasons that I actually got this in, was because doing the live broadcasts you need to really be able to plug it in, otherwise you're going to get through lots and lots of batteries. And then on this side here we have also got a microphone input, and then just down here underneath this other flap just there is a headphone output as well. Manual control on the side here as well. This changes the function of the ring on the front. Zoom rocker, photo button on the top. It's just a really neat little camera. I didn't want to go overboard on it. I could have got the brand new AX 700, but that would have been overkill for doing the live broadcast. I didn't even really need 4K, you know. 1080p would have been fine, but I couldn't find anything with a tried and trusted sort of quality that just did 1080p for live broadcasts. So not quite as good sort of separation in the background compared to the GH5 that I was using before, but certainly a lot more user friendly when it comes to doing live broadcasts anyway. So let's have a look in the chat. So Darren Gator says, will I be doing more than just watches on Watch Lifestyle? That is a very good question. Now, for those of you who don't know, one of my other channels, so I've got the GeekVloggz channel, the GeekVloggz channel, and also Watch Lifestyle. Now, Watch Lifestyle used to be called Luxury Lifestyle. So it was more of a brand-oriented website. So I would feature things on there like Louis Vuitton, Burberry, Gucci, Montblanc, and things like that. So and Rolex, of course, and a lot of watch brands, and that's where the watch thing comes into play. Now, of course, I like quality goods. I don't just go for a brand name. I like it when the actual quality of the product's good. But what I did over a period of about 2 to 3 months when I wasn't uploading videos there was I really looked at the content that was popular, that was obviously being appreciated. It's not all about the views, but that was being appreciated more and interacted with more in the comments. And with the exception of one brand, which was Mont Blanc, which actually garnered a really good response when I was covering their pens, and I also did a wallet from them, and also showed some of their watches in my sort of watch collection videos. Apart from Mont Blanc, the bulk of the content there was watches, which is what I'm interested in. I love my traditional timepieces, which is one of the main reasons why I went back to just wearing a fitness tracker and not an Apple Watch or a smartwatch, because going like this with two watches on with a bigger face looked a bit strange. So I've gone back to a fitness tracker, and I just really like my traditional watches. You know, I appreciate the intricacy in them, the craftsmanship, the detail, all of the different complications. And what I mean by complications, I mean things like, so for example, for those of you not familiar with sort of watch terminology, if I just take this off. So this is an automatic timepiece. This is a Squale watch. And so for example, on this, the date is a complication. And then I've got a GMT hand here in red. That's another complication. So that is what that terminology means. And I just love all of the different complications and just the finishing on the watches, like the bevel-in, where you've got polished and brushed accents. And then of course the inside of the automatic watches, where they're self-winding, and the rotors and the various sort of mechanics that go into making a watch work. That's what I really like. Now I digressed a little bit from your question, Darren, but I found that I think it was about 75 to 85%, maybe a little bit more, of the content on the Luxury Lifestyle channel was watches. So it seemed more appropriate to call it Watch Lifestyle, to do the rebranding. I think it fits the channel a lot more. And in answer to your question, yes, I probably will cover some different types of products on there from time to time, but it'll more be complementary products to the watches, if that makes sense. So if I, for example, had a new piece from Burberry that I wanted to cover, then that would feature in a new watch video. And I might not even mention what I'm wearing, but what happens more often than not when I do content like that is that if somebody sees a piece like that and I don't mention it, then they ask about it in the comments. And of course that starts the conversation going as well. So yes, I will be featuring them, but not as the main subject matter. So I hope that sort of answered your question. Hello, good evening to Daniel Dolinsky. Just bought a new iPhone 8 and it runs like a beast. I could barely experience a single iOS 11 bug on it so far. By the 11.1 release, you will be back on the right side. You're tempting me to stay on the side of using iOS. I upgraded to iOS 11.1 and it steadied out the battery issues with my iPhone 7 Plus, but it certainly didn't stop the mail app crashing and some other issues as well. Ryan Barkley says, hey Dave, where do you see the channel in 5 years' time? If you're referring to this channel, the GeekVloggz channel that you're watching this on, I see this still being there, just for me doing these little sort of updates and sit downs and chatting with you. I like the more relaxed style of being able to do this sort of video on the GeekVloggz channel. If you're talking about the Geekinoids channel, then I did mention I've got some big news about the Geekinoids content, which I'm going to reserve to talk to you about in a little while. But I'm so excited to tell you about it. I think that the future of the Geekinoids channel, just to touch on it very briefly now, just before I look at some more questions, the future of it relies on a few things. It relies on the live broadcasts, the support from you, the viewers, by way of views, sharing videos, likes, super chats as well, which help a great deal. I'll come on to that in a short while. There is, for example, super chat in this video as well, which you can support any of the channels with. And also sponsored content. It's the longevity of the YouTube channel now for most people, unfortunately, is not necessarily from ad revenue. Ad revenue nowadays is not that fantastic. It's not that great. Even with sort of hundreds of thousands of views, and I average probably about, let me say an average of sort of 700,000 to 1 million views per month, and even with that amount of views, you know, you still have to look at doing other things. And as a piece of business advice for you, I mean, I've been self-employed for so many years now. I'm coming up to sort of, I'd say 30 years of being self-employed and running my own businesses. The biggest advice I can give you is never to rely on one revenue stream in whatever business you're in. You know, it really doesn't matter what you're doing. And using my online presence at the moment, you know, I don't solely rely on YouTube. I do sponsored content, I do commercial videos, I have affiliate links with Amazon, and I do a lot more besides. I do a lot of other things online as well for other companies. So you really have to spread yourself so that if something did go wrong with your main sort of revenue stream, you know, you're not going to sink. You know, it's a juggling act sometimes, and that's why you find yourself working very, very long hours and being really dedicated to the cause. And I had a question earlier in the live broadcast over on the GeekVloggz channel, which was somebody asking about starting a YouTube channel. And I think the main piece of advice I gave there, if I remember it correctly, or the right terminology for it, was to really do something that you enjoy doing and something you're passionate about. Don't put on an act, you know, to just be yourself and enjoy what you're doing, and change if you need to. Not wanting to recap too much on the previous live broadcast over on GeekVloggz, but I changed what I was doing a couple of times. You know, I was an IBM engineer, and I didn't like doing that anymore, so I changed. And then I was a graphic designer for many years, which I thoroughly enjoyed for a long, long time. But I grew tired of it, and I found I wasn't enjoying it, and I was still having to put in long hours to finish the work that I'd promised to clients, because I always strongly believed in delivering on your promises. And so I changed again and moved across to doing GeekVloggz, which I still thoroughly enjoy doing 11 years later. So, and I say about enjoy what you're doing, I still thoroughly enjoy communicating and sharing my passion and my knowledge for technology, which is why I've stayed doing it for so long. And if I didn't enjoy it, then I wouldn't do it anymore, you know, because that would come across in the videos. You know, it's no fun watching somebody who isn't enjoying what they're doing. So, you know, that's my main advice, is really follow your passion. You know, the rest comes up. People ask about how do you get views on this, how do you get more views, and you've got to ignore the views and just enjoy it. You know, the views will come naturally. People comment as well saying, oh, you've been doing YouTube for 11 years, you know, the GeekVloggz channel should have more subscribers and more views. It went through that stage of being at the peak of what it was going to achieve. Maybe that peak could come again, but that's not my main focus. It really isn't. I don't really look at the views and the subscriber count. So anyway, I digress. And I will come on to the interesting news about the GeekVloggz channel very shortly as well. That is coming up. Matthew Jones says, hey Dave, I asked you earlier about action cameras. You mentioned Swan. So I typed that into YouTube and a GeekVloggz video from 2010 appeared. Very cool. People often say that to me a lot when I meet people for business meetings. I've had people come up from other offices and say, I just searched something on Google or YouTube and you came up. You've done a video on pretty much everything. And that, I suppose that's through doing videos for so many years. I think across all my channels, I think I've done something like 7,500 videos. So there's a lot of content there. Bosim says, what's your thoughts on Twitch? And do you see yourself branching out onto that? I have got a Twitch channel, but I've never put the effort in there to become a partner, I think they're called there as well. So I couldn't monetize it at the moment. I have looked at it, but I'm more than happy using YouTube at the moment. Juggling between channels is hard enough, and introducing something else like Twitch would be extremely difficult to add something else in. Darren Gator says, good to hear about the luxury lifestyle and watch lifestyle questions. You did show some really good items on the luxury lifestyle channel. Yeah, one of my favourite brands, apart from the watches that I covered on luxury lifestyle, really was Montblanc. I've still got my wallet from Montblanc. Love their pens. Really like some of their bags as well. I think you can get some brands that you are paying for the name a lot, but Montblanc is sort of that middle ground. So it is expensive, you know, it's not the cheaper end of the scale, it's sort of middle ground, and then you've got the likes of LV and Fendi and Hermes and places like that. And so it is still expensive, but when I say middle ground, I think it offers good value for money because of the quality of the products that they actually make. I really do like Montblanc. Not so much their timepieces. The timepieces are probably not one of my favourite brands for timepieces, but certainly their leather goods are very good indeed. Bella the Dog 2, YouTube TV, not so very far away now. Any thoughts? Is that coming to the UK? I haven't heard any news on that yet. Even YouTube Red isn't available in the UK, and I wish they would launch it here. I really do. Darren Gator says, I have to admit that watching your channel gave me the inspiration to start my channel. Oh, that is really cool to hear. That's really humbling, Darren. And that's something else that keeps me going actually as well, because apart from obviously loving the technology, I've had a lot of people say that to me, or that sort of thing, and I hope I come across as an approachable person, because I love it when somebody asks me advice, when they give me a quantifiable question. What I mean by that is, I'm going to be doing close-up jewellery videos. What camera and lens combination do you recommend, rather than what camera should I buy, without any sort of quantifiable parts of the question. And I love it when I get questions like that, because I like the fact that people take my opinion on board when they're making those decisions. And I also love it when people then start doing something that they're passionate about. And I've seen that with Darren Gator, with Darren's videos, that he started a while back. He's always kept in touch with me, always been super genuine in the comment section of the videos, and has gone on to make great videos himself. And obviously Darren enjoys doing what he's doing, and I hope, Darren, that you continue making videos. I really do. Not a sponsored video again. I'm going to have one of my little Ricola sweets just to keep my voice going. Ricola should sponsor the videos though. They're not cheap, but I absolutely love them. This is what the product packaging looks like. Ricola. I probably shouldn't eat too many of them though. I made the mistake one year when I had a sore throat of eating lockets, and I didn't realise you could overdose on lockets, so I thought that you could eat as many as you wanted, and I did suffer. I think I had like 2 or 3 packets in one day, and I did suffer. Bosim, sorry about the noise of the sweet. What does a day in the life of Dave look like when you're always busy, and do you ever take any downtime? I never used to take any downtime. My schedule sort of looks like I normally start around about 6 AM, and that's like 6 AM up and sort of ready to start the day. And I do a couple of hours every morning actually sharing deals on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and also on my website. And I've done that for the past 3 years. I just recently set up a new Twitter account called @GeekDiscounts. I'll just put that in the chat for you. So if you do want to follow @GeekDiscounts on Twitter, That's where I post the deals every morning, and they're all like tech related deals. And then I break off around about 8 o'clock just for a little bit of family time, and then back to work good and proper around about 8:30 to 9 a.m. Whereby I start my day. And it's changed a little bit recently because it's a lot more research now because of the change that's going to be happening on GeekVloggz. And I spend my day either researching, producing or editing videos either for GeekVloggz, for the main channel, or indeed for my private commercial clients. And then the afternoon, latter part of the evening is spent catching up on emails and social networking, replying to emails for sponsored videos, etc., and arranging as much as I can that way. And then at certain times throughout the month, like I have one day each month where I do my business accounts, and then I have another couple of days set aside each month for planning. So a lot goes into it, and I think I've sort of refined it to a place where I'm happy with it now. And I said I never used to take any downtime. I used to do that 7 days a week. But now, apart from posting the deals early on a Sunday morning, I do take Sunday off completely. So it'd be very rare that you'll see me live broadcasting on a Sunday. You know, I needed some actual downtime. I don't know how people do it when they do vlogging sort of 7 days a week. That is a hard job. Very, very hard indeed. And also people who live broadcast 7 days a week. I make no secret of watching some great content creators, and I mentioned in my video on GeekVloggz earlier today that one of the people I do watch is Chris Perillo, and I'm pretty sure that Chris has come back to live broadcasting 7 days a week, and that is really hard, very, very hard indeed. Kudos to him. You know, that is dedication. That is dedication. I'm even at the stage now where I find it hard to even schedule the live broadcasts because I'm diving in and out of doing things for my commercial clients as well. Ryan Barkley says, any advice for someone wanting to try out traditional timepieces but not wanting to invest too much? Yes, I do have some advice. I'm not sure, even to this day, Ryan, and I'm sorry to say this, but I'm pretty sure you are in the UK. If you're not, it still applies, but I would find an area, for example, in the UK, if you go down to Bond Street in London and just have a day out in Bond Street, or if you're not in the UK, find a district or area in your locale and check out all the watch shops, and they're normally very amenable to you, obviously looking in the window. I would go in and just say, look, I'm not going to buy anything today. I want to find out what style of watch I like, what brand I might appreciate. You know, I'm not sure what I'm looking for. Can you show me a few of your timepieces? And just tell them I'm not going to buy anything today, but I'd really appreciate if you could spare me 15 minutes, 30 minutes just showing me a few pieces. And they're going to want you as a customer, you know, even though you've told them that you're not buying anything. And just do your window shopping. Or also in the UK, and again, there's bound to be similar in other countries, we've got Harrods and Selfridges, which have got great watch departments. And they will spend time showing you the timepieces. And don't be embarrassed to try, you know, ask if you can try them on and get a real feel for what you like. There's also watch events as well. So, for example, here in the UK, which is happening this Friday, and I can't go because of the Apple iPhone 10 delivery, but there is Salon QP, which I went to last year, and that has a lot of watch vendors that are there purely to connect with new potential customers. And it was a great event that I went to there. I linked up with some great contacts, and everyone's so friendly there as well. So perhaps that's a good example of how you can check out plenty of different timepieces. Darren Gator says, thanks for the compliment, Dave. I've been thinking about doing a series of videos showing how older cameras are still viable for YouTube videos. Yeah, definitely, I saw you comment on that in the other broadcast, and it's definitely of interest. I think people would find that really interesting, because not everyone can afford to actually invest in the latest camera, and it is unnecessary on a lot of occasions. Tobor says, "Hi Dave, have you heard about Apple fires iPhone 10 engineer after daughter's hands-on video goes viral?" Yes, I did hear about it. I tweeted about it earlier today, and yeah, the daughter was not thinking when she put that video up, but the dad who got fired has to take some responsibility for it, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was seen showing the phone and then handing it to the daughter, and he must have known a video was being recorded, surely. So yeah, sort of joint responsibility on that one, I think, but it was bound to happen. You know, Apple do not look kindly on people sharing stuff like that before they're meant to. So not surprised, but wow, what a shocker for the dad though. Unbelievable. I mean, imagine that, losing your job, a nice, well-paid job as an Apple engineer, and then getting fired from it just for the sake of a viral video. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So anyway, before I talk to you about the GeekVloggz channel, this big announcement, if you've got any questions at all, and it relates to the announcement as well, there is Super Chat available, and I have set up these device funds as well, which weren't super successful, albeit I did manage to get the Note 8 video sponsored and funded, which sort of came as part of the live broadcasts and somebody seeing the device fund there, so it did serve a purpose. But the Super Chat, excuse me, the Super Chat, I had one of those bubbles in my throat then. The Super Chat that is available in this live broadcast, and when I do live broadcasts on GeekVloggz, going forwards is going to become an integral part of how the GeekVloggz future is shaped. Up until now, for the first time actually in 11 years, I've always had a schedule for videos. This is the big announcement, by the way. So I've always had a schedule for videos on the GeekVloggz channel. Let me just tweet out a link to this broadcast before I tell you. I think I tweeted out the right thing. Yeah, I did. Funny if I tweeted out someone else's video there. So anyway, I was saying that there's going to be a change, a very scary change, scary for me. Hello to Gina. Hi Gina, thanks for tuning in. So I will recap. I was just saying, Gina, that there's going to be some big changes over on the GeekVloggz channel, and up until now, when I've been doing the live broadcast, at the beginning I mentioned the Super Chat and I mentioned the device funds, and some of you chime in with support, which is really appreciated. And I'll say this again, that even you watching and sharing a video and commenting is support enough, but Super Chat is going to become a real integral part of GeekVloggz future, because for the first time since I started the GeekVloggz channel, wow, this is quite scary to share, because it does make me nervous as well. It really does make me nervous, and that is that I've always had a video schedule. Hi John, Front Page Tech. Hello John. I love you John as well. The feeling is reciprocated. Just to sidetrack as well quickly, John's caught my attention there. John, who runs Front Page Tech, do check John's channel out if you're not subscribed already. John very kindly featured me as one of his sort of favourite creators in a video just recently, and showed me the power of the internets, and it did send a lot of new subscribers over to GeekVloggz, which was really very, very appreciated. So do check out John at Front Page Tech. Awesome guy and amazing content. But anyway, back to the change on the GeekVloggz channel. So up until now, so for the first time in 11 years, I'm going to be making this change. I have been always working to a schedule, and I would always have maybe a week's videos prepared. Sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit less. I'd be working on multiple videos at the same time, and I'd know that I had enough content and products in the studio to make a couple of weeks content. and I would work on that content and push the videos up a few days in advance so that I knew that you had something to watch 3 or 4 times a week. That's what it sort of came down to. At one stage, it was 1 video per day. And at one stage, probably going back about a year or two, it was sometimes 2 videos or 3 videos a day, which is absolutely amazing when I look back at that. Doing videos at that rate did cause burnout, so it was an issue. So I decided to make a change. And that change is that coming up on this Sunday, so Sunday the 5th of November, I think that day, I'm pretty sure I've got that date correct, that is the last scheduled video on GeekVloggz. So the last pre-recorded video. Now that's not to say that there won't be other pre-recorded videos in the future. There may well be other pre-recorded videos. For example, if I get a sponsored video in that needs pre-recording, then you'll obviously see that. Or if I get something that's not easy to show in a live broadcast, that needs like multiple camera angles and close-ups, etc., then you might still see pre-recorded videos of that. But there's going to primarily be live broadcasts. And this is where the super chat comes in, because I found that with live broadcasts, during the live broadcast, we've got all this great interaction going on. And we also get some super chats come in which help support the channel. But I found that the content after the super chat isn't very searchable, or isn't as searchable as a video you've uploaded as a fresh video. Now I don't know if that's to do with the YouTube algorithm, but I've been watching this over the past couple of weeks, and I found that's the most scary part about making this change, is the fact that I might do a live broadcast and it get lots of views during the actual live time, but then after the event it's only picking up a certain number of views. So that's why I don't think it's quite as searchable. And that worries me, because obviously I still need to earn some revenue from the videos, unless it's a sponsored video. Then if it's a sponsored video, more often than not, it won't even have an advert on it. So everything's going to be live. And the reason I've made that change is because I want the content to be much more current. For example, one of my very latest videos that proved very popular was just after the iPhone 10 pre-orders went online, and it was just great to see everyone interacting in the chat. So I could still give my opinion during that video, my advice, take questions and give answers, which I love doing, and the interaction was fantastic within that broadcast as well. And I really see the future of definitely GeekVloggz, but with a lot of channels, of them being a lot more current and being live, actually broadcast live. So bringing traditional media where you get live TV programming onto YouTube. I think that's something that they're going to be promoting a lot in the future, and I want to be a part of it. Now, I was really pleased to see John from Front Page Tech come into this live broadcast, because John presents the very latest news like 12 hours or 24 hours after it's happened, in a very, very entertaining way. Very well produced, great graphics, editing, transitions, great audio, picture quality superb. And this is a shout out to John as well. If John could do that live, wow. Wow, just wow. It would be absolutely amazing. And that's what I want to try and achieve, is live broadcasts, but keep upping the video quality. Now, it's very hard to do when you do all of the production and the presenting and the behind the scenes all as one person. So I'm going to need to find some way of funding, getting some help in. For example, in about 2 weeks' time, I have got a sponsored live broadcast coming up where I will have a moderator on board to help with the chat. So, you know, it's something I'm definitely researching, putting a lot of work into, and it is hard, but I thoroughly love the challenge. It's a new challenge for me. Bosim asks, how do you use Super Chat on the app? If you're using iOS, you can't use Super Chat. You can only use it on Android or on the desktop. And John from Front Page Tech says we get the news, shoot, edit, and get the episode out in 4 hours. 4 hours, John. I never ever knew that. Whew, that's amazed me. It's left me almost speechless. I did not think it was that quick a turnaround. That is very hard to do. When I was talking earlier in this live broadcast about being in admiration of vloggers that produce a video every day and then they upload it the following day and they do that constant churn of content, I find that amazing. Now learning that Front Page Tech turn the videos around in 4 hours, that is awesome. John goes on to say, I also have an editor. I definitely couldn't do it by myself every day. I totally understand where you're coming from. That's good. That is really good. So I'm assuming it's a team of 2 on Front Page Tech. That is still a really big achievement. And if you see the quality of John's videos, then you'll understand why that is such an amazing achievement. That is really very, very good indeed. Technology Reviewed says, Dave, what's the last product you were really disappointed by? Wasn't a product, it was iOS 11, to be honest. I was really disappointed with iOS 11. And David Hepworth has joined us. Really good to see you, David. Thanks very much for tuning in. So let me just tweet this out again. I'm going to tweet the broadcast out. So how is everyone doing? Let me know in the chat what you want to see in future broadcasts, where you're tuning in from. I always find that really interesting as well. I find it amazing the reach that YouTube gives you, you know, to different countries. Absolutely amazing when I hear that in the chat. So give me some feedback. There we go. David Hepworth says that iOS 11.2 beta has been released. Still buggy. I'm not surprised. Gina M, great content, Dave. Thank you very much, Gina. I'm waiting to see some new photos from you, Gina. You used to upload a lot to Instagram, and unless I'm missing them in my feed, I really do miss them. Gina is a great photographer. Technology Reviewed, iOS 11, yeah, I agree. Although I have got a bit used to it now. Yeah, I've got used to it, using it on my iPhone 7 Plus here. I've sort of got used to it, but I'm still really frustrated. It just frustrates me so much. The main issue I have is with the mail app at the moment. When I select multiple mails and then delete them and the app freezes up. Major annoyance, because I deal with a lot of emails throughout the day. Technology Reviewed says, I missed the swiping in from the right on my iPad since iOS 11.2. Don't know why they took that away. Southampton Fan 84. Hi Dave, I don't like it when iOS 11 on iPad adds unwanted icons, apps in the dock, but not on the iPhone. Is it because the iPad has a larger screen? Yeah, I know what you mean, and it does add those extra app icons in that you just don't want there. It's like the most recent icon or most recent apps it adds. It's not a good thing. Yeah, I wish they'd give you some control over that, just to not add them in. Just switch that feature off if you don't like it. And this is one of the issues with iOS 11 is they said that it was like such a closed system, which is why it was so optimized. And then they added all these extra features in and it sort of become very buggy, but then they don't give you a way of customizing the experience with a custom launcher, which could get around some of those issues. David Hepworth says you can actually turn that feature off. So we will have to have a look at that to see how we can turn that off, but it's good to know. Thank you for letting us know, David. Gina M, you're too kind, Dave. We'll update soon. Been busy recently and had no opportunity to get any nice photos. Well, now is a good time of year. We've got some gorgeous, gorgeous sunsets. And then, of course, when that snow comes in, some awesome photo opportunities. Darren Gator says, I'm doing great. 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 6 Celsius here in Michigan. Just found some great gluten-free cookies. Yeah, I have celiac disease, so life is good. Glad that you found some nice cookies. I find it hard finding nice, tasty food that's healthy. I really do, because I love things like ice cream, chocolate fudge cake. Chocolate fudge cake is amazing, but you have to have everything in moderation, I think, is the good key to eating healthily. David Hetworth says, do you think iOS will get custom launchers? No, I don't think that will ever happen, which is a shame. And there goes the fireworks again. They were with us during the first broadcast, and they've come back for the second broadcast. So anyway, just to recap before I end the live broadcast here on GeekVloggz. On the Geekanoids channel, just to recap, do tune into the live broadcast there. Do pose your questions. Use Super Chat if you can, or if you want your question highlighted to bring it to my attention. I'm looking at ways to monetize the live broadcast a little bit better, because I run Geekanoids as a business. Even though I thoroughly enjoy it, it is part of my income, and I'm looking at ways of integrating sponsored videos into some, not all, of the live broadcast there, just so that it becomes a more viable option. And I always believe in trying new things in business for at least 2 to 3 months, because you have to give new things time to bed in. You can't just jump in, try something for 1 or 2 times and then say, oh, it's not working, and then leave it. You have to be able to watch the performance of something and then make a very informed decision. You can't make snap decisions in business unless it's really very, very necessary. So the live broadcasts will be over on Geekanoids for the foreseeable future, and then I'll gauge your feedback as well. If you're liking it, I have been asked, just one more thing to touch on the live broadcasts. I have been asked to actually schedule them so that you get a regular time, and that is something I will look at doing. As I say, it's hard for me to do this schedule with the live broadcast at the moment, purely because I'm juggling so many different things. If I didn't do commercial videos for private clients, where I have to give them priority sometimes, then it would be easier for me to set a schedule. But at the moment, I will try and do the Geekanoids live broadcasts at different times throughout the week, 3 or 4 different days of the week as well, so that it gives everyone a chance to actually tune in. And then I'll catch up with you over on the GeekVloggz channel on occasion as well. John from Front Page Tech says, have you ever thought of integrating ads into regular videos like we do? Might work out well to dedicate 30 seconds or so to a sponsor on a live stream. Yes, I have been looking at that. I have put adverts into, like paid for sponsors, into the Geekanoids videos on many occasions, and it used to work quite well. I found certainly in some sectors of industry in the UK that they weren't very receptive to it because they didn't see the value or a measurable value. But there are ways to do that, most definitely. And with regards to in a live broadcast, getting some sort of advert in or sponsor, that is something I'm working on. Something that seems to work very well, while we're talking about different formats of sponsorship and revenue, something that seems to work pretty well, although you do have to do a lot of work behind the scenes to get to that stage, is actually sponsored videos where a whole video is sponsored, because then I feel that the viewer, i.e. you guys and girls, when I mark it as a sponsored video or an ad with the appropriate hashtag, then I do think that that is more transparent, and you're not sitting through a 30-second ad when you weren't expecting it. It's a really difficult balance, John. I do get what you're saying, and it's certainly something we're always looking at these things, and things change a lot as well over time, and trends sort of dictate what viewers like and respond to, and what companies are looking for. So it's over that sort of transition period that we've seen on YouTube, where it all used to be ad revenue, and then sponsored videos started creeping in, and it just shows that trend to how things are changing over time. So great suggestion though. We need to talk about that off video a little bit as well. Technology reviewed. I still remember your live broadcast from the Mini when you were walking on the cliff tops. I remember that one as well. That's awesome. That is awesome. How do you remember that? Technology reviewed says you could use OBS Studio and put them into the live stream. I tried OBS Studio, didn't work very well for me, so I'm using Wirecast now, which still has that option, so I can still insert ads into the live broadcast if I need to. So really good point. And Darren Gator says, I still have one of your t-shirts, the Super Viewer one. That is awesome. Was the Super Viewer one the black? I think it was the black t-shirt with Super Viewer somewhere on it. I know that Darren's also got one of my t-shirts that's like the football t-shirt as well, which was a really nice shirt. Absolutely love it. I've still got one of each of my t-shirts that I wear on occasion. Front Page Tech, the way to introduce our ad platform to brands is instead of a random sponsored video where people may skip it or only find it if they're looking for the product already, we like to get them in front of the people who don't know about them yet and will benefit from the brand. That is very, very true. And I saw one of John's sponsors in one of his recent videos, which was like a cable where you were getting like a $24.99 cable completely free and just paying for the shipping. Amazing sort of sponsor placement that's not only of benefit to John because it helps John's channel, but that's also of great benefit to the viewers, because the viewers are getting something for nothing or something for just paying the shipping, which I think was really very, very cool. I think there are like 1,000 cables available where you just pay for the shipping only, and it's a really high quality cable. So yeah, that was like a perfect example. Do check out one of John's more recent videos, you'll see it in there. John, feel free to put the link in the chat there. But that was a really good example of how branding and sponsorship deals work, because it helps support the channel but gives something back to the viewer. That's a really interesting. I absolutely love it. Darren Gator says, yes, you got the Super Viewer right, and yes, I still have the football one as well and still wear them both. That is absolutely awesome. Technology Reviewed says, I like what Make.com did recently. They teamed up with an electronics component supplier to make something and then linked to the shopping basket for all of the components. That's a really good idea. I love that idea as well. This is why I like doing the live broadcasts, because you get so many great ideas in the chat. It really is a great way of doing things, and exactly why I want to integrate it more, which I am doing from November the 5th onwards, onto the GeekVloggz channel. I just think it's a lot more personable, and it also comes back round to me saying that you should do the content, or not just content, what work you do should be something that you enjoy doing. And that's not to say I don't enjoy doing the pre-recorded videos, but I enjoy the interaction of the live broadcast, apart from when you get the YouTube gremlins in. I love the interaction and the comment section or chat section in the live broadcasts a lot more. Obviously the standard comments in a pre-recorded video, I still love going back through and reading them, but it's that instant response that's really appealing in the live broadcasts. Gina M says, I love the new love chats. Whoops, typo. I love the new live chats. Looking forward to more. Thank you very much, Gina. I appreciate your support. So anyway, that is it for this evening's live broadcast. I've really enjoyed sitting down and chatting with you. I hope you found it the appropriate location as well, over on the GeekVloggz channel. And thanks to everyone who tuned in and gave me some feedback. I'm looking forward to the next few weeks on the GeekVloggz channel as well, to see how that pans out. So do tune in, do be honest and fair. Be honest and fair with your feedback on the live broadcast over on GeekVloggz, and I just really thank you for all your support. So have a fantastic evening or day, wherever you are. We've got the whole week ahead of us, so have a fantastic week as well. And I'll see you all in another one very soon. Goodbye for now.